Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how I clean my Bissell Proheat Revolution Pet 2, I think they call it. I made a video on how to use this because the instructions were not that great on how to use it. That video got like over 575,000 views. I get comments daily thanking me, as well as comments asking me to make a quick video on how to clean this thing. I clean it about every 3 months. You might have to do it a little bit more frequently if you have carpet throughout your house. I only use this for my area rug and 2 of my carpet runners in the hallways. But without further ado, let's get to it.
All right, the first thing I do is remove the waste container.
All right, you can see how dirty it is all in here, especially this little red area here. This is the filter. You're gonna wanna make sure you clean all the hair, gunk out. I usually take an old toothbrush. Just make sure you get out and clean this up as much as possible. I typically just use a paper towel with a mild soap or house cleaner. Get this looking as new as possible. Again, concentrate on the filter. Make sure all those little holes are not clogged. All right, next we have the waste. As you can see, it's kind of dirty in there. All you have to do is unscrew this ring counterclockwise. Sounds pretty gritty because there's probably sand in there. And then there's a little filter that you can just gently maneuver out. Easier said than done. All right, here we have the filter. As you can see, there's gunk all up in there. There's some inside there. Some people take this apart. I never really had to do that. All I do is run, hot water, give it a good clean. Again, use a, toothbrush if you want. This usually doesn't get too dirty, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of water flushing through to get it back to looking good. All right, next I actually clean the bin itself without the filter installed. It's much easier to get inside and, clean out as much as you can. All right, we got them all clean. Now you just want to make sure they're fully dried before you reassemble. All right, next I lift up right here on this plastic part and then just kind of pull up and this part will come right off. We're going to be cleaning this part next. All right, as you can see, I have some pet hair lodged up in there on the corners and kind of throughout the device. It kind of gets stuck in there. This machine should have came with this little plastic gray tool that you can shove up underneath the intake in here and just kind of grab everything out. Unfortunately, one of my dogs ate that, and so I have to use this tool. If you don't have a tool to kind of grab it with, you can always use a zip tie, which isn't ideal, but it fits up in there and you can kind of fish and get that stuff out. All right, we got this sucker pretty darn clean. Again, just set it down, let it completely air dry. All right, as you can see, my rollers aren't that bad. A little bit of hair stuck. What I usually do is use a old comb, but that gray tool that came with your unit should work just fine, but I kind of have to make do with what I have. I just kind of go down the rollers, get as much hair off as possible. Doesn't take that long. I've seen it worse than this before, but not too bad this time around. All right, I'm just using my fingers to pull off ones that I've broken with the comb. Once you get the rollers all clean, you're gonna wanna clean kind of any gunk. Obviously, that's on the little belt here. There's a belt. You can look down inside. Let me see if I can get that on video. Right inside here, this is where the belt drives the actual rollers. There can be gunk inside here. So just, remove anything that doesn't look like it should be there. Also go on the left-hand side of the machine. You can see the drive belt right here and all this gunk. Clean all that up. All right, we got everything cleaned up pretty good on the rollers and the surrounding areas, removed gunk on the inside here. I wanted to mention there's 2 water ports, one here and one here. I believe this is the intake that goes down into the rollers and sprays, and then the dirty water comes up here through this little filter. Look down in there. Sometimes hair can build up in there and that can block filtration and water. So just definitely look inside that hole, remove, make sure it's clean, make sure there's no obstructions in that one either. All right, next we're gonna be cleaning the cover. Pretty self-explanatory. Just grab as much of this hair that you can remove, run water through it, get it as clean as possible, clean these brushes on the ends that can build up with hair. It's also worth looking at this little water port. Make sure you have 2 O-rings, that they're intact. Make sure you can see all the holes. There's nothing gunking up or anything inside there. All right, we got that looking pretty darn clean. Just like everything else, we're gonna let it air dry before we reassemble. All right, time to reassemble. We're gonna take this guy, pay attention to these 2 notches. They just line up right here. All you have to do is get it lined up, push down, and both these green tabs should pop back up, securing it in place. All right, next we're gonna be taking our other cover, There's 3 little clips right here that line up right down here. All you have to do is push those into place and then push down. You'll hear it click. Close the door. All right, next we're going to be reinstalling this back into the tank. Pay attention to this flat part right here. You want that to go on the flat part right here. So it's going to be inserted like so. It only actually goes one direction. If you put it in the wrong way, it will not fit, but it is kind of a pain to get it back out. But it should just slip right back in like so. Then reattach the ring, make sure it's not cross-threaded and is secure. Then just take your container, throw it back in. You should be good to go for a few more months. Hope you found this video informative. If you'd like to check out my other video on how to use this guy, again, it got a lot of views, helped a lot of people. I'll put a link below if you'd like to check that out. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button. We'll see you in the next video.